Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another CNC Router Mixer. I'm Bill Griggs, and I'm hosting tonight. And we do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time inside of the CNC Router Tips group. We talk about our CNC router tables. We talk about the software that we use. We talk about 3D printers, laser cutters, um, pretty much anything that you can control and move with stepper motors, servo motors, or um, linear actuators. It's open game. You want to talk robotics? Come on down. We got it for you. Typically, we have 5 or 6 guys sign up and come in every night. If you would like to join us tonight on Zoom, I will put the link in the comments, which I'm doing now, and you can join. Just need a Zoom, uh, just need to sign in Zoom and use your internet service either on your cell phone or on your computer, and here you are. You can join us. Had folks from all over the world join us before, and we'd like to um, have you join us. Some of you may be wondering about the background. Last year, I went on a trip down to Texas to see one of the starships before it went up for flight, and they're launching one tonight, and I kind of got that going in the background on a separate loop as they're getting closer and closer to lunchtime. Lunchtime supposedly around 7:30 Eastern time, or I think they're listing it as 6:30 um, Central time for those. But there's lots of good coverage on YouTube of these launches. I like it because of all the technology that goes into making one of these things fly. Essentially they're using electric motors to control the booster on its return flight. There are these things called grid fins, and they're just really just like having stepper or servo actuated control surfaces. So that's similar to CNC. It's more robotic stuff, but it's pretty cool that they have that. They're using originally I heard they were the electric motors from some of the Teslas because they could get, because their SpaceX and Tesla are pretty much um, owned by the same people and have access to the technology. I thought it was kind of cool that they went all electric from all hydraulic. When they first started, they had hydraulic actuators up there, but the electric motors were lighter weight and less expensive, and off the shelf parts. So they're using them. But that's just one of many examples. There's all kinds of things throughout um, the rocket, like the gimbaling system that they use to steer the rocket. Is there's ball screws that move and help actuate that surface to move them around and sling them around. So, a lot of this stuff is very similar to what we do in our CNC router tables, laser cutters, and everything. And it's just so cool. I don't care if you are a fan of the persons in charge of the program. Ever, it doesn't really matter. I think that what they're trying to do, making space less expensive and making the rockets reusable, are things that are important if we're ever going to have serious hope at space flight is a viable option, because up until now it's just been basically a big science experiment every time. And while that needed, there has to be other applications for it, both private, commercial, experimental, whatever those things are. If we're going to look seriously into space, then we need to have as many players in the game as possible. And, that's what's happening. So I don't want to get off on this big space tangent, but it's just kind of cool. And that's about it. A little to do with welcome, Ned, Sydney, Australia. It's just coming on board.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, Ned, how you doing? It's just
Oh,
me so
not too
far.
bad.
Just me and you so far.
Oh, okay, that's it. Oh, okay, I thought you had somebody else there. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm heading home specially just to be in the meeting or in the discussion.
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I was just talking about the background in my video here, and them about to try another launch attempt in a few minutes uh, from Texas. So
Okay.
yeah, I hope this one goes well, and if not, well, they got another one ready to go. So
If at first you don't succeed, and
try
try
again.
and try and
That's right.
try and
Hmm. Yeah, you figure,
uh,
they've only got a few $1 million in this rocket versus a few billion for the nearest competitor. So, they can afford to launch a few of these things. I know that when you say
yeah.
just a few billion or a few million, excuse me, everybody goes, "What?" But rockets are
It,
expensive.
No, look, and it's not just that. It's also what they're doing to the environment, like all the testing and so on. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of stupidity and hypocrisy that's going on. And don't get me wrong, I'm a big supporter of technology. I love technology, but I just sometimes wonder where it's taking us. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Yep.
But did you know? And you probably know this, but it's something that I've just found out the other day. Um, NASA has been used all those large rockets in the Saturns and everything like that.
Hmm.
NASA's been using Russian-produced rocket engines.
Yeah. Yeah. For years,
Yeah, that was
since the
yeah,
space shuttle and before that, for the Atlas rockets, they
yeah,
used Russian.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only found that out the other day.
Yep. In fact, one of the reasons that SpaceX is building their own rockets now, or their own rocket motors, is because when Elon tried to buy some old decommissioned ICBM rockets, to use and to get the motors, and the Russians laughed at him and basically told him, "Go away, little boy. You know, go do your thing." And so he's like, "Okay."
Well, I actually haven't heard that part, but what I did hear was that the Russians actually gave the blueprints to the motors to the US, and they've either never tried to or weren't able to build them.
They've got the blueprints. I don't know whether they've attempted to build them because they had their own motor designs, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at
Yeah,
all.
so it was a documentary that I watched the other day, or maybe it was like more like 1 or 2 weeks ago now. But yeah,
Hmm.
I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Um, there's a YouTuber, Tim Dodd. He's he goes by the term everyday astronaut.
yep.
Uh, and he goes into detail ad infinitum about these various rocket engines and how they work and where they were built and what they were replaced by and the whole 9 yards. Um, and he's got one video in particular. It's really long, but he goes through every Russian rocket that they ever did, every motor.
I'm just I'm just going to be switching over to the home computer.
Sure.
Keep talking. Oh, hang
Yeah. And he also does it for the U.S. rockets and pretty much every other rocket in the world. But oh, excuse me. It's really amazing that anybody's able to make
Can
these
you hear me?
rocket. Yes, I can, Ned. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
it's really amazing to me that they're able to make these things at all. Um,
Yeah.
I actually, here's my pet thought. I think after this space shuttle program got going, and our government laid off a bunch of the space and NASA workers and at JPL and everything, they laid them off. They cut the contracts.
Yep.
Uh, I I actually think that for a while there, we no longer had the ability to make this stuff because the guys who made it were gone. They'd gone to private sector, and that knowledge was temporarily lost, or
Yeah.
at
Well,
least
that's
significantly reduced.
yeah. I think that's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, that's my pet thought, but I've never seen it proven. But
And it probably would have been after the Challenger disaster. Would that be about the right time frame?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Yeah.
when when they decommissioned the space shuttle, it was after we had the International Space Station up in orbit, and the only
Yep.
way that the U.S. was able to get astronauts up to the International Space Station was using the Russian Soyuz rockets. We were buying seats and each one of those launches to send people up there. And
Yeah, and that was also with the International Space Station as well.
mhm. So they knew that it was
Yeah.
going to be a
No.
10-year. They knew there was be a 10-year down period while they came up with a replacement for the shuttle. It took that long to, it
Yeah.
would take that at least that long to develop it. So, um, but yeah, it's just I'm a big space nut. You already knew that, but
I was just taking a stab in the dark. I just guessed that.
yeah,
uh,
yeah. So
oh look, I was right into space as well, many years ago, and but yeah, I sort of lost interest. Yeah.
mhm.
I think it was probably even after the Challenger. It was even after the Challenger, maybe because just a lot of hype about it died once it's happened a few times, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just wasn't the same anymore. Maybe, yeah.
Mhm. Well, uh,
I've
I
actually got a NASA. I've actually got a NASA shirt.
I have as well. I'm just not wearing it. But
Well,
yeah.
you're right next door to it. Actually, mine might even fit me again.
No. Driving to NASA to Houston, for instance, uh, that would take maybe 2 days for me.
Oh, really? I thought you were just. I see you. You got to drive right around or something, is it?
No, well, no. See, there's interstate highways between here and there, but Texas, the United States is roughly the same size as Australia. Okay,
Yes.
and it would be like going from Sydney to what's the one in the middle? Is that halfway
South
half?
Australia, like a
Yeah,
top or bottom?
bottom.
South Australia.
Yeah, so it would be like driving from Sydney to South Australia.
Yeah, that'd probably be maybe not quite 2 days, but yeah,
Yep.
that probably would be right. Yeah,
So, um,
depends on how keen you are.
yeah, yeah. And SpaceX, if I were going there instead of Houston, SpaceX is another 8 hours south towards the Gulf. I mean, when you get to where SpaceX launches, you're staring out into the Gulf.
You've
Um,
gone right out. Like, okay, so you got to go right down further.
yeah, it is literally the launch site is literally less than a half mile from from the pad to the shore of the beach.
Hmm.
It's more like a quarter mile, I think, but I mean it's really short distance. Um, I wish I knew the exact number now because the problem with the problem is when you get down there, the rocket is so large that it throws off your sense of distance on everything, and you start underestimating things, how far something is, because the rocket is literally the size of a large skyscraper. And it's just, it throws everything off. Your sense of perspective goes out the window. I can't explain it.
Yeah,
You just have to go and experience it.
I'd love to one day.
uh yeah, well, you let me know when you come. Uh we'll have to make that trip.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't say no. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. New York, where I live, is quite a way. It's opposite. It's on the East Coast, and Texas is in the central part of the country. Um, the Rio Grande, and well, anyway,
And,
it's
and, and
yeah.
I will come out there one day. I've got a bit of a trip planned. I've got Knob Creek for the machine gun shoot,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee for the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my two major stops. I've got a few others, but that's probably but they're the two key ones that I'd actually like to see, and also to go down to Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's quite a trip you've got described there.
I'm going to do it on the push bike.
Okay. You're going to be very fit when you're done. Yeah.
or maybe not.
Yeah. I don't, well, you'd have to, hmm, because of the area that you're in, for those states that you've described, there's only
Yep.
a certain winter, or spring window for you, winter, spring, or fall. You
Yeah.
don't want to do this in the summer. Not at all.
Yeah. Oh, look,
Yeah.
it's a bit of a way. It's a bit of a way away, sort of thing. Like it is something that there's a few places I wouldn't mind going. I've been across Europe. I've been over a couple of places in Europe.
Hmm.
Um, but there has been a fascination just to go and see a few things in America, but I don't know when that'll be.
Well, when Mike and I went last year,
Yeah.
uh, I hadn't been to Houston. Not that I recalled. Um, what I didn't realize, now I've been to Connecticut, which is a next state over from us. I've been through all of Connecticut before. What I didn't realize was that the city of Houston is slightly larger than the state of Connecticut.
Okay.
It's all one city. It was just huge, and it's only one portion of, so uh, hmm. I'm trying to give it some perspective, but Texas is bigger than most countries in the world.
Yeah.
Yep.
So whereabouts are you exactly?
Near Syracuse, New York.
Okay,
So,
yeah, I thought you would be because I always go off the New York Eastern time.
mhm. Yep. So if you went into the state of New York, which is totally different from the city of New York, common mistake. But if you went into the center, you took a push pin and you put it right in the very geographic center of New York State.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. Um,
Okay. So tell me something. What's the difference between New York and New York, New York?
that was the difference I was trying to explain. So
Okay, yeah. So they're not close.
no, well, so this is roughly what New York State looks like if my thumb could go out that way. Okay,
Yep.
kind of imagine it going off in that direction, right? Just this portion of my thumb
Yep.
is New York, New York. The rest of it is Long Island. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And it goes off kind of like this. Well, right smack dab in the center of my palm, that is central New York, and that's where I'm at. And all of
Okay.
this
And
is agriculture, basically.
okay. So how far apart is New York, New York, and New York?
Uh,
Like, what's the distance?
from central New York, where I am at, it's about 4 hours. From
Okay.
Buffalo, which is the furthest point, it's about 7 or 8 hours at 65 miles an hour.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So nobody drives that slow though. Um,
We do over here.
yeah.
Um, um, I believe that our speed, we don't even have a 60. I think 65 or 66, or I think 60 miles an hour is 120 kilometers an hour, or
Yep.
66.
Somewhere in that range. Yeah.
Yeah, no, our fastest speed is 110 kilometers an hour. So it's probably about 55 miles or something like that.
Well, let's see. Uh, speed. Uh, let's see. So your kilometers, and you want 100 and what? 125?
110. 110.
68 miles an hour.
Oh, so we
So,
can do 68. Oh,
yep.
interesting.
Mm. T minus 7 minutes, they say.
Ooh.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting thing. Sometimes they'll stop right before they get the countdown all the way down, just to
Yeah.
do a final check and ask everybody, "Hey, are we good to go?" But should be interesting. Um, I know if I put up a YouTube feed or somebody else's feed on here that we get in trouble with the copyright people, and then Facebook won't show this to anybody. So if
Uh-huh.
you're,
No, that's okay.
yeah, if you
We can
guys
we
are,
can we can open up the YouTube.
yep. Um, but if you guys are really interested in the space flight, it's happening right about now. Um, if you by the time you find it on YouTube, that sucker's going to be launching. And
Oh no, you find it pretty quickly. They'll have the SpaceX feeds and stuff like that.
yep, yeah, and the SpaceX speeds have the best views of the telemetry, but the some of the content creators are have the best talk going on. They're not doing the company line or
Okay.
whatever. Uh,
Yep.
yeah. Anyway, and the downside of watching one of the content creators during a launch is that they're slightly delayed um, in their video feed.
You
But
get that because they've got to sort of like do their little analysis and whatever off it and rebroadcast it, so
mhm,
retranscode it.
yep, and they have agreements signed with SpaceX to get copies of SpaceX's own video feed too. So it takes that a few seconds to stream over to them, then have them stream it to us. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of what's got me distracted tonight. Um, before this broadcast started, I was out in the garage actually. Uh, had a broom and dustpan out,
Yeah.
tidying up the place and getting ready to move stuff around and get rid of some things and
I,
get my router table back uh,
okay.
cleared
Yeah.
because I
Well,
want to make something.
I've started clearing my place out. I've started clearing my place out, and I'll put some new shelves in and unpack some boxes. and this
Hmm.
started about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I've got a mess and a half over here. It's
Yeah.
amazing how one box turns. It's amazing how one box turns into um, 3 or 4 boxes.
Hmm. Yeah. It
Yeah.
truly is. Um, eh, Trying to see if our what view we've got going here, multi-speaker. So yeah, we should be fine. Um, People are, you don't have a video feed going, right, Ed?
Pardon?
You don't have your video on.
Yeah, I do. I'm just walking
Okay,
around. I've got you in the pocket of my shirt.
gotcha.
I pull you
Okay.
out occasionally when you're describing something.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
I'm
uh,
just quickly making some breakfast before I sit down.
mm-hmm. Uh, 3 minutes to go. T minus 3 minutes. uh, anyway, it's
Yeah.
just so you think about this now. It's been, I think they started doing stuff at SpaceX, their home base, um, the gateway to Mars. They started this just prior to the pandemic. So it was like 2017, I think, was like the first time they built anything at all out there.
Yeah.
And now they've got two launch pads, a rocket test site, a giant factory, places, a restaurant, places for their employees to live, the whole 9 yards. It's now a city. It recently became a city of its own. So the the pace of creation down there is so fast. It's I've never seen anything else like it. That builds they're building so many different things at the same time so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Now that they're a city, they're going to be able to pave the road because it needed it. Uh, there are big potholes that you could lose your entire car in. Uh,
Look, we are in for a bit of a change. Like we've got to change how and what we do. We've with this globalization, we've lost a lot of stuff, and yeah,
mm-hmm.
I think it's going to take a lot longer than what even Trump thinks, though.
Oh yeah, certainly. Everybody thinks uh, everybody overestimates how much they can do in a short term, but
Yeah,
underestimates how much they can do in long term. It's just one of those
yeah,
things. Yep. 'Cause I think it's been the 7 or 8 years, maybe 9 years since they started doing stuff. From making this thing that looked uh, like a water tower fly, and then now they're launching their largest rocket ever. Um,
yeah.
I hope it's
Making
successful.
a brick without wings fly.
Hmm. Yeah, I hope they're successful just because when they do it, then someone else will be able to do it, and they'll do it differently.
Yeah,
But it's like the first guy to run, the 4 minute mile, and then now people run it all the time. So just once people see that something can be done, then they start doing it.
yeah. Funny that.
Mm-hmm.
Let someone else be the guinea
Well,
pig.
there, ignition and liftoff. Woohoo! You know what? I don't care if you. Well, no, better not. It's it's flying straight and steady, going up. Now, the launch is at the beginning of the launch has never been the problem.
Yeah,
Um, it's it's what happens after that that's important. First, they have to get through a portion of the launch called max Q, where It has the maximum pressure on the outside of the rocket. So, once they make it through that, that's usually a pretty good indication that they have a good shot at making it all the way up.
Well, let's hope it works for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so. I'd like to go down and actually see a launch. I wish that they had a more regular cadence that I could predict so that I could plan a
I'd
trip.
actually like to go down to feel a launch.
Yeah.
It's sort of like watching drag cars. You don't really understand how much continuous air pressure
Mm-hmm.
comes out of those motors, and that's just a drag car
Mm-hmm.
until you're actually standing at the sideline when the thing takes off.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never been to drag races, but I hear the same thing. Um,
You've got to, honestly, and if you do go, stand off to the side where they actually take off or where they start from.
mm-hmm.
You want to be just like around about to the side of them, sort of thing. And I can only sort of assume that being at one of those space launches, it would be like a million times more, but you're like kilometers away.
Mm-hmm. Now, they've made it past the max Q like I was talking about. But there's a problem with one engine has turned off.
Yeah, and look,
Looks
and
like
that will be a problem when because what's he got? Something like around about 15 or 20 engines underneath there.
33.
33. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The more
The
you
two,
have, the more there is to fail.
so they got to the point where they separated. So the booster is on its way back, and the upper stage just lit, and so the booster's coming back, and all the motors on the upper stage are going. Yeah, I'm excited about that because this is where they had difficulties in the last two flights.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Let's see. Well, it's looking they're going 5,300 miles an hour at the moment. Uh, which is quite something. Yeah, it's just amazing to me that they do it. I was talking about um, how similar the things that we do in CNC are to these rocket engines um, when they're doing thrust vectoring, when they're gimbaling the motors. That they're using like servos, electric motors to move these engines around.
Yep.
Yep, and they used to use hydraulics, but now they're using electric motors to do it.
Well, actually, if you and I'm only suspecting this, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, all those large cranes and everything,
Yep.
like the large diggers and cranes and so on, rock crushers and etc., they
Mm-hmm.
use these huge cycloidal gearboxes. So the entire frame, and I'm suspecting that they're doing something similar on those spaceships
Mm-hmm.
on the rocket engines is that they've got like these huge cycloidal gearboxes. I don't think they're even using I don't think they're using hydraulics. See,
Mm-hmm.
with hydraulics, there's a lot of additional weight,
Mm-hmm.
and that was actually quite interesting. I never really thought about how you get so much torque from a small drive,
Yeah.
and the only way they can do it is the whole cycloidal gearbox
Mm-hmm.
is built in as a part of the design of the engines and so on.
Mm-hmm.
That way they don't get no. It's not the backlash, but like because there's a lot of torque just starting the movement,
Mm-hmm.
particularly with the amount of um, thrust that's underneath those engines in order to cant them.
Mm-hmm.
So I would suspect that it's not hydraulics, but cycloidal gearboxes, and they have them arranged with these three plates, and the plates actually sort of move, and they don't move
Mm-hmm.
a lot, but there's a huge amount of torque.
Mm-hmm.
So might have to have a look at how they do that one day, do a bit of a
Mm-hmm.
search.
Yep. So, and this on this launch, they're not attempting to catch the booster like they did in the past. They're
Yeah.
they're planning to land it in the Gulf, and it's just made it down. So they did it. So the booster is in the Gulf, just as planned. Uh, yep, perfect. So now it's just a matter of how long before the upper stage does its thing. So good, 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 good. So that portion of the launch was success. It's exactly what they wanted it to do. Um, so there's about 8 minutes more to go before they cut off the engines on the upper stage, and it'll be suborbital. Um, it's actually in space, but it's not going to do a complete orbit because they're going to land in the Indian Ocean near you, actually, Ned. You may actually be able to see the splashdown because it's in daylight. What do you think?
I can't see it at the moment. Hang on. What's this safe drive?
One more time. One of the interesting things about this particular flight compared to the previous one, at this point, the upper stage was rotating out of control, and it appears not to be the case this time. It looks like it's stable flight. There's about 30 seconds left before the engine cuts off.
One second.
Mm-hmm. What is that leak? Uh-oh.
I'm just finishing making my breakfast. I'm almost done. Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I was just listening to you.
Yeah, all six of the engines have shut off successfully. Things are looking good. Yeah. Anyway, just fun, fun, fun. So I think it's probably 20 minutes, half hour before it gets over the Indian Ocean. Hmm. Anyway, this is if you're not watching the launch, I encourage you to go and watch the replays of this thing because
I know
it's
I'll watch the
good. Yeah.
replay shortly. That's not a
Yeah.
problem.
Yep.
I was just making myself some breakfast.
Yeah. 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 I know. Um,
I went out and did a quick job, and I got back, and I was hoping to be a little bit earlier, but yeah.
mhm. Yeah. I guess Tally has been making all sorts of buildings It's his busy time, so he's not here tonight. I don't know about Scott and the other guys. I didn't give everybody a lot of notice ahead of time that we were going to do this. So,
Oh, look, I think everyone knows that we're on the
yeah,
Tuesday for you guys, Wednesday for me.
yep. So, I'm not stressing over how many people join us or if anybody ever joins us anymore, because if they want to talk, they'll come. If they don't, they won't. Um,
Yep, pretty
but
much so.
yeah. Oh, this is good. It's looking good. They're showing pictures of the parts that have burned before from, from orbit, and they all look like they're not having any problems. So we'll know. Um, in a while, they're going to try and open up a door on the ship and spit out a bunch of satellites simulators, kind of like
Okay.
a big Pez dispenser. And every time they've tried it thus far, it's failed. So apparently they haven't figured out how to make an opening door yet. But I'm hoping that they get it right this time. Um, I suspect that they're having difficulties because of the heating and cooling of the stainless steel rocket. So you got parts that are expanding and contracting um, at different rates. So maybe they need to build the whole door and every piece of hardware out of the same metals. Who knows? Um,
Well, that's actually a big problem for a lot of designs,
mhm.
and that causes a lot of stress fractures and with many things. And I guess it wouldn't be limited to the like it'd be even greater with the rockets because heat dissipation in space is a lot harder.
Mhm. Yep. This is amazing to me is that they have 4K live streaming video from the rocket while it's in flight. And they've got several cameras on this giant rocket, and they provide a pretty amazing view of all of this going on. Before SpaceX started doing this, we had never seen video of re-entry of a spacecraft going through the plasma. When you get through the atmosphere and it starts heating up, it generates plasma, and we had never seen what the plasma looked like until they started broadcasting with the satellite from a satellite uplink. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think the thing to keep in mind, even with the space shuttle, the even like with the earlier lunar landers, I'm just joining with my
Hmm.
laptop now. I'll
Hmm.
just leave on this one.
Yeah.
And turn the volume up.
Yeah. So um, they're talking up right now. They're talking about this payload doors and everything. Spitting out the satellites. Um, that'll be fun to see this. Um, if this if this works, if the door opens and the dispenser spits out the satellites, then every penny that they have paid to build to this point is worth it, because they would then have a system that was capable of doing work, not just some giant rocket experiment, but they'd
Hmm.
actually be able to do real work, taking a payload up and deploying it in space.
Well, back to what I was saying earlier on when we were talking about the 4K video,
Hmm.
one of the things to keep in mind is a lot of people don't realize how much processing power is required in order to compress a video.
Yeah.
Um, and, when you were looking at 320 by 240, that was back in the Apollo and Gemini and all that days.
Hmm.
Um, they were calculating their power consumption in the milliwatts, not in watts.
Yeah.
Um, and the processing power that they had, I believe it was less than the old Commodore VIC-20 computer.
Hmm.
And you've also got to keep in mind that they're using hydrogen fuel cells, and they've
Hmm.
also got to run oxygen scrubbers,
Yep.
um, and a plethora of other things that require power.
Yeah.
They didn't have high efficiency servos and so on like we have today. They
Hmm.
didn't have a lot of composite materials like we have today as well. So
Yeah.
um, the processors are so small. The low nanometer technology reduces the power consumption, meaning that you can run higher compression. Because to
Hmm.
compress 4K video is not easy.
Yeah.
Um, and on top of that, they'll probably be running proprietary algorithms to get even better compression
Hmm.
um, down the radio signal. But on top of that, they're running spread spectrum technology to avoid
Hmm.
interference.
Hmm.
There's a lot
Huh.
of new technology that's helping them.
So so they vented the compartment and they opened the door. Yeah. So that is really cool. They at least got the door open this time. Uh, so now I'm
I'm just
curious.
opening up the feed now.
The view that they've got right now is the top of the stack of these satellite simulators, and I'm wondering if they go from the top or from the bottom. But now they're showing it on the side. So yeah, this is
What feed are you watching? What's the name of the what's the
everyday astronaut, but this SpaceX has the same feed right now. Uh, so let's hope that they can deploy. Yeah, they're taking longer than I would have expected, but maybe they have to get everything aligned. Who knows? Uh, and of course, right now the video is acting up. Well, see, last time they did this, I could tell where the door is, but on this particular view,
I was just so what are they, some sort of platforms?
yeah, they're okay. Looks like it's moving. It's going. It's going. It's going. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. It's stuck in the door. No. Wait. Huh. I don't know what to say yet. Uh oh, okay. It was the back of the pusher. So the satellite's out. The second satellite is out. Okay. So rather than building these $1 million satellites to test with, they built something that's the same mass and size, and they eject those. So yeah, so they'll burn up in deorbit from.
Re-entry.
but it takes them about a minute to launch each one. And they've done 2 of them so far out of, geez. Way to go, SpaceX, finally. But everybody's been talking crap about them. And, at this point,
Help.
even, when they crash or whatever, because again, they're going to crash this one into the ocean, but it's going to be in the Indian Ocean.
So what's this, like the slice of toast they're pushing out the side? Like it's a
Yeah. So in reality, if it was the real thing, there's a satellite is flat. It's like a giant rectangle. And then once it
Mhm.
gets out of the bay, it begins that origami thing where it unfolds and the solar sails come down, and not solar cells, not sail, come out so that they can power it. And they fly in a constellation, one next to the other, and they shoot signals back and forth between them. It's really kind of neat. Now, even after they deploy all these satellites, you still got to close the door. So we'll see that. So yeah, um, on the actual rocket, they would be doing 50, 60, 100. I don't know how many of these in one launch. Right now, they're just doing you know 6 or 7 of these
But
things, whatever.
this would be the Starlink satellites more so that they're
Right.
doing here.
Yes. And they could build another variant of this to launch somebody else's commercial satellite, or whatever it is. But this was just their way of coming up with uh, a way to deploy more satellites. Um, and, whose satellites are better to do than your own? So um, we'll see. I think there's 2 more left, but I'm not sure. So, yeah, just just pretty cool. Oh, they use a chain drive. Hmm.
One left.
Yeah, just this is basically CNC stuff. Tim Dodd just
Mhm.
said that. Yeah. So the back satellite pushes out the front satellite. It retracts a bit, and then the back satellite goes out. It's a lot of wobble going on.
Wobble.
Yeah. In the you could see as they're feeding out the each of the satellite, you can see the gantry, if you will, just kind of wobbling a little bit. There's play in it, but maybe that's needed. Pretty cool. So they've deployed a product. I think they're gonna try and relight the engines. after they close the door to prove that they can, and they transfer fuel from one tank to another to see that you can do refueling. But yeah, there's a lot of tests that go on in this thing. Anyway. I didn't mean to talk about space launch the whole day.
That's
That's not,
okay.
yeah. Uh, but to me, this is exciting. I mean, it's history happening while we watch. And I remember as a kid watching the first uh, some of the first launches to try and get to the moon. The programs before that, um, Gemini and what was the other one? Anyway, there was lots of
Mercury, Gemini.
Mercury, Gemini, yeah, and then all the Apollo missions. And I remember when the rocket caught fire on the launch pad and killed Gus Grissom and the rest of that crew, because it was the first time I'd ever seen my mother cry.
Hmm. Shit, how
Uh,
old are you?
63.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yep,
you would have been, yeah. Because I was born in 67.
yep, yeah, youngin. Yep,
Mm.
yep. So, um, 67, you would have seen. Ooh, I think
I don't remember
yeah,
any of it from, yeah.
yep. But yeah, there was a lot going on, and when I remember watching the programs when they landed on the moon, I, they had Robert Heinlein, the famous science fiction author.
Okay.
He was doing the commentary with them. I think it was for NBC or ABC. I'm not really sure. I think it was NBC. Um, he was doing some of the commentary for with NASA during the launch, and talking about how important it was, and it was kind of cool. But they used a lot of animation to simulate what was going on during the thing. And
Yeah.
as a kid, I thought that the animations was what was really happening, that they had
Happening.
cameras out there and they were showing it to us. But we
But
didn't get, yeah, we
but it
didn't
was it
really,
was fascinating. I remember those, like how they they used to have the big wall, and it was all cardboard cutouts and stuff that they used to drag across the wall and have lights on them and stuff like that to represent stuff.
yeah, yeah, it was amazing time back then. And to think that they could get actual video back from the moon, video transmissions back from the moon, that was like a huge deal. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know what the
Hang on, hang
delay
on. That
was.
was that was that was from the studio in the Arizona desert, wasn't
It's possible.
it? I think that with the Chinese and the Russians sending, I think with the Chinese and the Russians sending their own satellites and so on, or they've sent missions around there that they would have jumped at the chance to disprove it. I'd say that there is junk up on the moon.
There is. Um, they've they've sent pictures back now.
Okay, I haven't seen those.
Yeah, but I sometimes wonder. Well, how good could these pictures be? Because you really, the moon is pretty far away, and having a camera with the resolution that you need to pick something out on the surface is similar to what you have to do here to pick something out on the surface from a satellite, you know? So who knows?
I I think that you'll find that the video camera feeds that you saw were for purposes of near live view, just to get an idea what's happening. But all those high resolution photos that
Hmm.
you see and all the really good quality video that you see floating around was from the film, like from the motion film cameras that they had and the still picture cameras that they had.
Yeah.
And if you've ever done any photography, you'll be quite surprised what detail you get from silver nitrate slides.
Hmm.
It's like I'm a bit of a photography person, and I can and even from not just the negatives, but even from black and white prints, the level
Hmm.
of detail on black and white prints back from the 50s, 60s, 70s, etc. And before, I can't tell you how long before, but
Hmm.
there is a lot of detail on those prints.
Yeah. I used to photograph model airplanes for magazines,
Yep,
and we used Exochrome and Kodachrome
yep,
slide film, and the detail was amazing, you know.
yeah.
And I have no idea what they were what film they were using during the moon launches and everything, but it
Oh,
was
look, it's
almost
it's
certain
it's
it was
the
almost certainly Kodak.
Oh yeah, well, everything goes to Kodak. Look, it's the silver particles on the negatives, etc. Um,
Hmm.
are so tiny. The DPI is one day I should actually have a look what the DPI is, but the detail that you can get even off paper, because that's also
Hmm.
silver coating on there, is incredible. And that's even from those small little, one they used to do like little 1.5 by 2 inch and 2 inch by 2 inch and so on
Hmm.
prints, and
Yeah.
they never really did them big because it was so expensive. But I've restored a lot of photos for people, and just the level of detail that you can get from a good scanner, it's
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Kodak is a local company. Um, they were in they still are in Rochester, New York, which is about 90 minutes from here.
yep.
Um, I don't know how they took their eye off the ball. Kodak
I
had the film market sewed up. They were the big dog. You know, Fuji wasn't even really a thought. One of their engineers developed the digital camera. You know, he was the guy who had the patents and everything. And Kodak said, "No, no, no, we're doing okay. Well, let's just keep making film." Totally ignored the digital camera thing, and then everybody ate their lunch.
Yeah, look, I think they underestimated the level of resolution at like with the cameras. That some of the first commercial cameras were like the Apple QuickTake that came out as digital.
Mm-hmm.
And they were only like 320 by 200. They were literally just the motion camera CCDs that they were using. And you got to keep in mind at the time on the computers, you were also looking at a 0.85 pitch screen, and and a lot of the photos that you were looking at were even sorry, the 0.85 pitch screen was on the VGA screens, but the CGA and so on screens were still down in the 320 by 240 and stuff like that.
Yep, I remember.
And
Yeah.
like you could never use that as a wedding photo. But if you looked at some of the high density films and stuff like that, that's those the Bronicas and stuff like that.
Hmm.
They're 75 by 75 or 3 inch by 3 inch negatives. The level of detail that you can get out of it, and from a commercial point of view, you just go, never going to happen. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But now they're doing CCDs that are over 60 million megapixels, stuff like that. Yeah, I've got a photo, and this is back when the 9/11 went from the Twin Towers. The
Hmm.
photos that they were taking there were like 32 megapixels, 32 or 64 megapixels,
Hmm.
um, aerial photos, and you can zoom right down on this picture, and you can see the people on the road and the fire trucks and everything that was taken from a helicopter up in the air. And we're talking that it literally the one photo took the entire area.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a big underestimation, and I actually sold a lot of I sold a lot of Kodak cameras. There was the DC DC 110,
Hmm.
240, 280, 4800 was a little gold colored one where they started looking small and compact
Yep.
and so on. And I looked after a few photographers that were in film cameras, and I took the DC 4800, I believe it was. There was also a tall one. Um, I can't remember the exact model of it right now, and I took the camera, and we went for night shoots and stuff like that, because I used to teach the photographers how to use Photoshop so that
Hmm.
they can edit the photos. They'd scan them, and that's when the Fuji Mini Lab came out,
Yep.
um, for the digital scanning of negatives.
Hmm.
And I would teach them how to modify the photos, how to work with the resolutions, and then they could create the wedding albums and stuff like that. And I took we had two big photographers here in Sydney, Alan Khan, Top Gun Alan Khan Weddings and Top Gun
Hmm.
Photography. And I'd go out with them, and I was taking pictures with the DC 4800, which was a two, or I think it was a 4 megapixel camera. And the the quality of shot that we were getting out of it exceeded 35 millimeter film. So even with their pro lenses and everything,
Hmm.
they would still get grain with night photography. And these DC 4800s were literally making their cameras look like toys.
Hmm.
Um, but they just left it too late. Same thing's going to happen to mobile phone companies. All the mobile phone companies are going to die very shortly. It won't be
Hmm.
long.
Hmm.
They need to wake up with what's happening there.
Yeah.
VoIP is taking over, and there'll be the only thing that the mobile phone companies will have will be mobile data. That's it.
Hmm.
And I think at some point even that'll change, where basically you're going to have devices that'll be picking up Starlink,
Hmm.
or they will have building, like wherever you go, they already have the hotspots, so it'll be sort of like
Sure.
mesh-based hotspots that'll be taking over. There's big changes happening. There's big changes happening.
Hmm. They just pressurized the fuel tank, transferred fuel from one to the other, and then relit one of the engines in space. Everything's going nominally. It's right now, so this is looking really good. Just in about an hour or so they'll land. We're not gonna stick around that, but they've done all their tests that they had scheduled for orbit have been successful so far,
Yeah,
and they've
but
never,
you know what the
yeah,
catch is? You know what the catch is, though? Now do it again.
exactly.
Oh, look, they'll get it. They're nutting out the problems. They're finding where the flaws and so on are. They're nutting it out. Look. I think the most impressive thing that I'm not a real fan of Musk Baby.
Hmm.
I think he's morally broken. Um, but the the most amazing thing is the basically the return of the booster and the catch of the booster. That was
Yeah,
that's impressive.
yeah, yep. They they will eventually get to the point where they're going to catch the upper stage as well.
Mm. I
So
don't see why they wouldn't have the upper stage as a like a space shuttle type thing where it actually lands. I don't see the need to catch it.
they're talking about rapid reusability. So they, they want to be able to catch it, drop it down, reload it, lift it back up, put it up, and launch it again. That's the idea. Have a whole yard full of these things ready to roll
Hmm.
all the time. We'll see. It's more like the Atlas van line of space is what they want to be.
Yeah.
Atlas van line is a big moving country here, moving company here. Um,
Yeah.
so it's like, yeah, we get your cargo to space. That's kind of what I think they're gonna, you know, do in
With it.
order to
Yeah.
make this thing financial success.
Yeah. We've just got to be careful, or we're going to have a whole pile of space junk zapping around in the air up there or in the space out there.
Well, there's a company right now that's developing a satellite that goes and gathers other satellites, docks with other satellites and takes them to a place to deorbit them and space, just clean up all that space junk that's up there. I don't know how successful they are, but
Yeah.
they're
Because
working on
they
that.
they are I can't remember, it was some ridiculous amounts of in the many hundreds of thousands of just bits of previous space missions, like the explosive bolts and
Yep.
other things that have failed that are zatting around still in space, which is a danger to them.
Yeah, and you consider this ship right now is moving at um
26,000, wasn't it?
26,000, yeah, 500 kilometers per
Yeah.
hour, which is fast. I don't know what that is in miles per hour, but that's a lot. uh 26.5,
Miles an hour.
16,500 miles an hour, basically, roughly. So yeah,
Hey,
that's
Chris, the kettle's on.
hmm, just so amazing.
What did you come out here for?
Let's think about
Where's the guy with the drone flying around outside?
the guy with the drone flying around. I
Well,
missed it.
that's what they do with Red Bull and that, like when with the race cars and the planes, they have drones circling around doing filming. I'm
Oh,
surprised that
they
they haven't launched some sort of little EV drone with a
uh-huh.
camera that just basically gets shot back into the atmosphere when it's finished. Actually,
Yeah,
there's no reason why it couldn't return back into the rocket.
yeah. Just another piece of tech that they could develop. Um, they do fly drones at the launch site. I don't know if they keep them up in the air when they're taking off, but I'll have to look into that a little bit more. But I know that I've seen the drones flying around the launch tower just prior to launch. I don't know if they keep them in the air during, but I do know there's a certain NASA aircraft that they fly at the same time as every launch, and it's circling the area well outside the danger zone, but it's got high powered cameras on it that are filming stuff. So
have you ever watched how they do the high-speed film cameras, even back before with the Apollo and Gemini and all that launches? How they had people manually sort of like controlling them, and they used like a mirror to rotate it while they had high-speed film going.
no.
Like those rocket sled tests and stuff like that. You should look into that. That was actually quite fascinating.
So they move the mirror, not the camera.
Yeah.
That sounds like almost sounds like the flying laser cutters that they've got going now. The where they rotate these mirrors.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a death machine. So you can do things like you point.
Whoa! Oh, something just went boom boom.
Uh-oh. I think you may be ahead of me.
4709, 47. It was about 47. It was about 4700 that it happened.
Okay, I'm at 4458. So
Not quite. No, it's still there.
you're probably looking directly at space flight or net.
No, I'm on the astronaut one.
Holy crap.
Huh.
Everyday astronaut.
Hmm.
That was crazy. I'm gonna listen in here.
So something exploded, huh?
Yeah, at that 47. I'm going to reverse back just a little bit.
Yeah, I'm at 4526.
However, like, why are you guys counting?
Looks like one of the tiles came off the flap.
The ship is in orbit, completed its burn, and now we've got a bunch.
You know, if it blew up or something went kaboom, everybody that's
No,
all
it looked
everybody's
it looked like an engine or something.
okay.
Everything's experiencing, basically 0 atmosphere. Everything.
Where's my mouse?
The thing is, everybody will only talk about the part that failed, not about all the steps that succeeded,
This is the nose.
because that's human nature. I'm at 46.
I'm at 4658.
Yeah.
It looked like it was something external that blew in the wall. That's when you're looking at the, you can see 4 or 5 rocket engines.
Yeah.
And it was literally at 47. Where are you now?
4640.
Yeah, you're about to see it. I sort of rewound it, but I just had to do it with a touch screen.
Mm-hmm.
You're about to see it.
Yeah, they just switched to the rocket engine view.
Pretty much at 47 was, yeah.
That was crazy.
Here we go. 40. Oh, boom. Yep.
It wasn't the engines. It was something on the wall outside, whether something hit it or something. I don't know what angle that was from.
Yeah. That was the engine down through the bottom of the engine. Now there's a camera right above the engines, and they're talking about a COPV, which is a composite overpressure vessel, which is the problem they had earlier. These carbon fiber wrapped aluminum tubes.
Oh, okay, yep.
They're exploding. They're rated for so much pressure or whatever, and apparently they haven't got the mix right yet. So if it was a COPV that exploded, that means that one engine at least won't be able to start. and more if it damaged other things. That looked pretty explosive there.
Recent, yeah.
As the ship makes its way back to Earth. So when we hear entry max heating and entry max Q, that will mean the ship has made it through the maximum heating.
If you're a company that makes COPVs, I bet you
at
could get a
40
contract right now.
At 49, they go to an outside view. It looks like one of the stabilizers might have a tear in it outside.
Hmm.
As we start coming down.
Interesting.
How far off 49 are you?
The hit we saw
4852 and it froze.
when we started doing these missing tile tests, we were
Now they've gone to the outside view.
Okay, outside you'll see in that stabilizer fin, there's like a big tear in the bottom of it.
structurally
Yep.
together that obviously exposes your engines. So that could do some things for a landing burn. But
That looks like the aft flap, but I could be wrong. The forward flap has a sharper angle on the leading edge, but I'm not really sure.
point where it's dense enough atmosphere that the flaps have control.
So anytime that they have an opening, something that tears on those flaps, it gives the plasma a place that it can go to get to the inside of the ship, and that's usually bad. So
Oh, what time are you at now?
4922.
Re-entry. We are
I wonder if you're getting faster feeds because the ship is closer to you right now.
Oh, I'd say I'd be getting it from the same YouTube channel. I could understand that if I was getting a feed from the Australian telemetry, something or other like they used to do at parks
Yeah.
or something. But we're getting it from the same YouTube. If anything, yours is probably because you're closer to where the ground station is over there and wherever the YouTube channel is. I'd expect you to be in the milliseconds faster.
Yeah. What I suspect is happening is I'm seeing this a day before you are. Because right.
No, actually, I'm seeing it a day before you are. Or not? No. How would that work? I'm on Wednesday. You're on Tuesday. I'm in front of
Mhm.
you.
Yeah. So you're in the future watching this. That's why it's faster.
Oh, there you
It
go.
already happened.
It's already happened. Yeah. I was watching a skit once, and someone was being sort of smart and asking to give him what was the birthday of someone on this day. And he goes, "Okay, so it depends on where you're standing in the world."
Yeah. Exactly.
that re-entry, the steel locations, kind of where they connect to the ship
Well,
itself.
the good news now it's kind of oh wait. The attitude, they have a little icon that shows the angle that the ship is at,
Yep.
and that is still steady at 50 minutes, but
I'm at 51:40 now. I could tap what are you at now?
50:30. So I'm a minute behind you, basically, it looks like.
I'm just going back 10 seconds at a time.
Yep.
What's your time now?
50, 44, 45, 46, 47.
As not just the heat shield, but these flaps, how they're able to control the vehicle, withstand
Yeah, the flap is coming apart
locations, kind of where they
at the trailing edge, and there's some.
Yeah. I'm at 51:21 now.
two missing tiles.
23, 24.
Yeah, there's some heat burn through on the flap, but they've survived that before. I think they're going to need to redesign the flaps. That's again.
Sections of the ship itself. So we're really trying to see what our limits. We're doing this over a completely empty area over the earth.
It's 5118 here. You know,
What are you at now?
5130.
Yep, we're matched at the moment. I just rewound back. I took 30 seconds off.
Yep. Now they're
I'm at
showing the
5130.
Yep, they're showing the engine bay now.
Yep.
Really trying to see what are
The thing is, they're in space at the moment. The once they start entering atmosphere, that's going to be the interesting part.
Well, they're actually entering atmosphere.
Yeah, but they're not on the full. They're still in high
Yeah.
orbit.
Yeah.
we do have at least one buoy.
Because I don't see the altitude decreasing there. It's 70 kilometers up.
Yeah, it's 70 kilometers. Once it starts getting down to 20, 30 kilometers, that's where the mass pressure starts. They're still in high altitude or outer ionosphere or whatever they call it.
Mm-hmm. They are decelerating rather rapidly right now. So
Look at the sparklers coming off.
yeah, we've seen that before. But yeah, that deep rose color plasma, they had no idea what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
And
And the other one
amazing.
is it looks like they're missing a few tiles on that damaged flat.
Yeah, on the back end of it and on the front end of it where they have that patch of 5 or 6 different tiles. One of the things that they're doing is they're testing several different kinds of tiles on this rocket, and they have some metal ones, some ceramic ones, different sizes ones and things like that. And in some places, they don't put a tile to see if it'll burn through in a non-critical area, or whether the stainless steel is tough enough to take it. So anyway, I think we can safely say that the stainless steel is not really tough enough to take it by itself without the tiles. But this looks like a front flap now at 5302.
Look, once they, I think once they start getting below 30 kilometers altitude, that's where you're going to see serious heat build up and so on.
Mm-hmm.
We're pushing it beyond essentially what we think we'll have to fly at to do something like a return site. So again, may not be a very smooth ride downhill, but we're doing that by design. We're really trying to.
I'm thinking
build up a good data set.
they may choose to purposely blow up the upper stage on the way down rather than have it fly over, risk an uncontrolled
Dropping
re-entry.
debris.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's already copped a few bloody fines for littering in the Gulf of America.
Yep. Yep. How I don't think the rest of the world agreed
What's
to
that?
that. I don't know how they I don't know how they renamed the Gulf. I really don't.
I don't think the Gulf has been renamed. It's just a Trump thing. Once Trump's out, I think it'll just go back to the Gulf of Mexico. I think the world is ridiculing America over that and ridiculing Trump over it. We'll see what the ego of the next president is, but yeah, if you guys want good relations with Mexico and stuff like that, you know what I mean. That's just an egotistical thing that was done by Trump.
Well, I purposely don't get into politics too often, but
yeah. Oh no, my view on it is it's not really what it's called, it's what everyone knows it for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it is renamed, it's an agreed reason why it's
Yeah.
renamed.
Yeah.
At the moment, it was just renamed at the whim of one person, and that's a problem.
You know, everything on this continent is America. South America, Central America, North America, eh, all of that. If it were named the Gulf of the Americas, that would be very accurate. You know?
Yeah, but see, it goes back hundreds of years. It's not
Oh yeah.
something that happened today. And I'm one of those people. I won't continue watching a TV show because they ditch an actor, for example. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless it's
Yep.
something whatever.
Yeah.
And it's not. I really don't care what the name is. But what you got to remember is there's thousands of books around the world that
They have to
have
be
the
updated.
Gulf of Mexico in it.
Yeah. Yep.
It should have been renamed before.
Mhm. Oh, they made it past peak heating, so it's gotten as hot as it's going to get. So.
Now they've got stresses.
Hmm. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how far down they can make it. If they can make it all the way down, that's a success. Um, to land a damaged ship.
Yeah. Well, that actually is an important thing. Particularly, are these ships going to be manned, or are they always going to be unmanned?
They will eventually be manned, but there's variations of this ship. This is like a it's like you can get a 747 cargo plane and you can get a 747 passenger plane. That's kind
Yeah.
of the path that they're going for. Um, there's a variation of this theme that doesn't have these flaps on it at all because it lands on the moon.
See the ripples in the flaps. That's expansion from heat.
I am not looking at the flaps at the moment. I'm at 5724.
How come I'm up at 58.51?
You're a minute ahead of me, I guess. There's the flaps. Yeah. Yeah.
See all the wavy ripples in it?
Yep.
That's heat expansion.
Yeah, and you can see the trailing edges partially burned through.
Yeah.
So
They're getting a lot of heat on the base of at 59. They're getting a lot of heat at the base where the damage is.
yep.
It's glowing red. There's a lot of red heat there.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, bear in mind when the booster comes back, the entire back end where all the 32 rockets are looks like it's firing. The rockets are firing, but it's actually just friction heat from the
Yeah.
from the from the way that they um, re-enter the atmosphere. So it's kind of interesting stuff. I mean, you can see entire chunks of the flap
Actually,
melting away.
at 1 hour, they sort of roll the rocket a little bit.
Hmm.
They're doing some rolling. You see a lot of flames off the bottom and the white hot metal, but you can see the discoloration on the metal, like from the down the half of the fuselage sort of thing,
Hmm.
where it looks like from the ionization and so on.
Hmm. Yep. I used to always, wonder, how come it got so hot? But I mean, that's when you're moving at, even 12,000 miles an hour or kilometers per hour right now. That's really fast going
Oh
past
yeah.
all those air molecules, and you're rubbing against
Yeah,
them.
well, I'm a target shooter, and we've played around with pushing our bullets faster to get flatter trajectory and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And once you start getting over 3,000 feet a second, metal strips,
Yeah.
bullets disintegrate. You know what I mean? It's like once you
Hmm.
like if they're not made well, and 3,000 feet a second, well, you're looking at So you can literally 38 kilometers. 5,000 kilometers an hour. That's
Hmm.
15,000 feet a second.
Yeah, I see what you mean about the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can see the discoloration in the sea. I'd
Hmm.
say that you're at 101.40 or 101-ish sort of thing.
I'm at 1 minute even 26 seconds.
Okay, a good angle at 101 or 101,
Yeah.
101 to 101.55. You can
Hmm.
actually see you can see like rainbows in the metal. That happens with stainless steel when it heats to different temperatures.
Yep, you can see that at 1 minute as well. It's
Yeah,
along
but
the trunk right
you
above the
can
cargo
also
bay
see
door.
the you can also see the black. I don't know whether to call it soot or what, but you can see the um, blackness on the polished
Hmm.
stainless. I'd say that they must have tiles or some sort of coating on that side of the rocket.
There's an ablative coating um, that is beneath the tiles, etc. And that black strip. There's like 3 or 4 different materials that they're using underneath while they were putting it together. They showed it in some videos as they were building it. They
Oh,
have the.
they're flying over Perth. They're about to hit Perth.
I hope you're
That was about
joking.
where Skylab came down.
Yeah, I I wonder if Australia ever got reimbursed for the cleanup.
They're having a stink. I can't remember what it was. It was can't remember what company it was that was doing the. It was one of your Exxon or something like that that was doing all the pumping of oil or gas. I think somewhere down at Bass Strait or whatever. And now we were reimbursing them to do the work, and now they've packed up and left. But they've left all the shit there, and everyone is going, so are they
uh,
going to clean it up, or are they expecting us to fucking clean up after them after they've made all those millions?
well.
And then there was that other one, that American solo yachtsman down below South Australia. He overturned or something, and we had to send out the whole navy and everything to rescue this one idiot that was trying to make a name for himself, and we had to foot the fucking bill for it. We're stupid.
Well, rescues at sea. Uh, somebody's
Look, look,
always holding the
if
short
it
end of
was
the
a
stick.
cruise ship, if it was a cruise ship or a well planned, correctly sized vessel to do the thing, and an accident happened, we help you guys out.
Hmm.
Something of ours happens over there, you guys help us out. Not a
Hmm.
problem. But when you've got an idiot that's just trying to make a name for himself, saying, "Look at me," you know what I mean? Well,
Yeah,
mate, I hope you can swim.
yeah. It's only 900 kilometers an hour now. It's pretty much now.
Yeah. But see,
It's
even at
gonna
night,
go ahead.
but even at that speed,
Hmm.
no, it's only even at that speed, 400 kilometers an hour. There's a lot of stress on those surfaces.
Hmm. Well, one of the ways that the upper stage slows down is it does this belly flop maneuver where it flips the rocket almost horizontal, and then it uses the flaps to control the angle of attack as it's coming in, and it slows way down. Well, we're at 650 since I started talking.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's dropping speed very fast, and right before right before they get to ground level, they do a little relight of the engines, and then they flip back vertical for the landing. It's really kind of cool because nobody had tried this before, and they
yeah.
were making fun of them for trying to do it, but the first time they did
There
it,
it goes. There goes the flip. I'm at 106.
I'm at 105. Yep.
He made it into the water. He landed in the water.
That's what we were going for. So yeah,
Oh, it exploded.
it was supposed to. Anytime you've got all that fuel and hot engines and then suddenly cold water. Yeah. So 105.32. He's pretty much horizontal. He's down to 400 kilometers for now, 390. Yeah.
Well, I
That
hope
flap,
they find Nemo.
yeah, me too. That flap is holding together pretty good.
Oh, surprised. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Even though it's burnt. So let's see. They're coming through the cloud layer, and now they're moving the flaps, and looks like they're about to do the flip. So even with that explosion, they were able to relight the engines and get it
No, he
back.
did
There
well.
you go. Yeah. So how many engines lit? It doesn't show on the telemetry, but oh, buoy cam got it. That's a good view.
We listed off from start to
So
finish.
as soon as it hits the water, boom, there it goes.
Event had a successful hot staging where ship continued on with the orbital trajectory. Came back
I
down.
consider this flight a success, even though with the burn through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, yeah. Yeah, you have problems.
Mm-hmm. But this is an experimental rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. More things went right than went wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. So I can't wait for a perfect launch. That perfect launch and landing. That'll be something to see. And then it'll become mundane.
Program is what we're working for. So big congrats to all of them. Thank you to all of our future customers too for your support.
And we'd also like to thank the fine people of Cameron County, including the residents of it.
Right now there's a big party going on down in Texas. If you haven't put in your stock thing for any of the companies that are supplying SpaceX, now might be a good time, because a good successful launch means the stock price is probably going to go up.
Yeah.
I
Look,
don't even know.
I don't have enough money to buy enough stock for it to make that much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't even know that SpaceX is publicly traded now. I'm not sure. It might still be a private company, but who knows? Obviously, I don't have any money in the game, so.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in. And we will be back. Good night.
So now that we spent 2 hours talking about a rocket launch, how's your things going with your CNC?
Well, actually, I'm posting a couple of pictures for you now.
Yeah.
One is the mobile phone charger. I'll add some text to it a little bit later when I sit at the main computer.
Mm-hmm.
Massive break
tonight. So I'm
I've
gonna
just
stop.
posted one. That was the 30 kilowatt battery banks, power banks that I built.
Where did you put it in chat?
Just in the no, I just put it in the main body
In the main
of
group.
the,
Okay. Yep.
But we have some generous people here.
And then the second picture, remember I told you I used masking tape on the vacuum table to improve hold down?
Mm-hmm.
So I've just posted that up there. Let's open that up.
Starting off with
Oh, let me turn on the sharing. There you go.
Let me try pushing it again. 1 second.
Hang on, I'll go to Zoom. Oh no, I've posted it on the Facebook page.
Yep. Okay. I
You
think
gonna pull it up?
well, I'm struggling here, Ned. I'm trying to find out where the audio is coming from. Ah, here we go.
Oh, that could be me. That could be me. Let me turn mine
Nope,
off.
nope, no, it's not you. It was me. There were two different um feeds from YouTube. Let's see, Facebook. Here we go. Yeah. All right, let's see what we have from Ned. Are you still there?
I'm still here.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So you posted, there we go. Let's start with the first one. And share. Okay. So what is this that we're looking at it again?
Okay, so what you've got there on the I've posted a picture before I made it,
Mm-hmm.
with the batteries out. That was posted like some 2 or 3 weeks ago. But there's two 15 kilowatt hour battery banks or
Mm-hmm.
lithium ion phosphate battery packs, 54 volts, 300 amps. Um, inside of the actual enclosure. So it's a trolley that you can push around a work site or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a 6 kilowatt solar inverter bolted on the front. So up on the top right, it's a 15 amp, 240 volt caravan style plug for when you need to charge it when you bring it back. And down the bottom, there's two 20 amp plugs on the bottom. The one with the orange plug in it, that's a 32 amp. That's all 240 volt single phase. That's a 240 volt 32 amp plug that goes to the power board. And you've got three 15 amp plugs across the top.
Mm-hmm.
And on the left is a little thing with RCBs in it for safety in case they cut out, like with residual earth, etc. If in case there's a
Mm-hmm.
malfunction in a tool to prevent electrocution.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically portable power stations for people to operate their tools and stuff from.
You
So
said
there's
R
no spark
yeah.
or whatever.
You said an RCB? Is that
Yeah.
some type of circuit breaker?
Yeah, it's a circuit breaker that will detect earth leakage, or if there's leakage to earth in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, that'll happen with an insulation breakdown, or if someone you touch one of the bare wires, it cuts the power out straight away.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So it's a circuit breaker and a residual earth circuit.
That's what the R stands for. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So so that was a little overkill project for a person. Yeah. So that
Mm-hmm.
that was that one there.
So you built two of these for him.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
wasn't enough.
Yeah.
He said he took it home
Mm-hmm.
and he's got 13 large fridges, refrigerators that he was running all night on, and it went down by 15%.
Oh, sweet. That's barely any. Yeah.
Yeah.
Running all
So
night.
yeah,
Yeah. All right. Let's look at
that was a fun little project.
yeah, I agree. Let's see. Where is the other one?
There it
Uh,
is. Okay, well, one of the things that we've been struggling with, particularly when you do these large panels, and what you got to remember is These are custom built wall panels for cupboards
Hmm.
and so on, and they'll generally consist of you heard me talking about it, it's Valcata. It's a very
Hmm.
light balsa style filling that makes it a solid core. Then they'll put MDF, 5 mil, or depends on what it is,
Yeah.
anywhere from 3 to 6 mil MDF. And then they will put veneer on the top, and it's a frame. And these get pressed in a very, very large press,
Hmm.
and they're heated. And they have a problem of bowing. They get a slight bow or a curve in them. And what we do is everywhere where you see one of those, what would you guys call them? Slats? Leafs?
Sure. Both. Either.
Yep.
Yep.
You can see them.
Yeah.
They're around about they vary from 4 to 6 inch wide
Yep.
veneer strips
Yeah.
that are glued and pressed in. And what I have to do is put V grooves um, down the length.
Down.
So that one there would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 13, 14 V grooves just going right down
Hmm.
the whole length.
Yep.
Now, when if you get the cupped side and you put that down, it will most of the time it'll pull down quite well,
Uh-huh.
and it'll be pretty good. But once you do one side and you flip it over, all of those V grooves, you lose a lot of vacuum from the V grooves. And if
Gotcha.
there's a curve in it, it's really hard to hold down. And even screwing it down, I'd put clamps, and I'd screw down off the T track, etc. Like
Hmm.
I'd put screws right through the MDF where the T track is, and do like little toe clamps and stuff on it.
Yep.
And it's um, you'd get a half a millimeter, 0.5 of a millimeter difference. The bottom side is actually V grooved already. So
Hmm.
and I was having a problem holding it down, and I thought I'll give it a try. And I squared it up on the table, and I put masking tape all the way around it to seal the V grooves and just seal everything all the way around. I turned the vacuum pump on, and I had better than zero point 0.1 millimeters variation across the entire. I think I had better than zero point 0.2 millimeters variation across the entire panel. And that panel
Wow.
was like 3.5 meters long by 1.5 meters wide. What's that? That's 3 times 12, 30, 36 foot long. No,
Hmm.
no, is that right? Sorry,
Yeah.
three. No, sorry, four. So no, 20. So that was like 24 foot long by 3, 4, 5, about 5 foot, 6 foot wide,
Hmm.
and I'd run a dial gauge up and down the whole lot because it goes through a sander that vacuum holds it down, and also the rollers press it. It's a big, massive drum sander.
Yep.
And when you do V grooves, slight variances in the height will, particularly when you're looking down long straight lines, the V grooves will sort of like open and close dramatically.
Hmm.
So for every 1 millimeter that you're out, the V groove would be 2 millimeters wider, and this is all going in a high end building, etc.
Yeah. Can't have that.
And it literally has to be perfect. And a simple, cheap way of improving the vacuum hold down and making it work better is a whole like getting it flat is bit of masking tape.
That's sweet. Are you using just regular masking tape or are you
Just
using
regular masking tape. Yeah.
painter's tape?
Just painter's tape. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mm, this is a good one. I wouldn't have thought that it would have made that much of a difference, but it does.
Yeah.
I just common sense. That the better seal you get, the better quality cut you're going to have, and this is great. Another way to getting it done.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
finding a problem for a solution, and the simpler the solution, the better.
Yep. Sweet. Now you said how long is this table? The blue elephant that you're using this on?
It's four. The table is 4 meters by 2 meters, so 3 fours.
Yep.
So you're looking at what's that? 3 fours. Sorry. Um, yeah, three, 16 foot. That sound right?
You said 4 by what?
16 foot long.
60. Yeah.
That's 4 meters. No, hang on, that
Uh,
doesn't sound right.
uh, let's see.
Yeah,
Invert.
16 foot long by 16 foot long by 8 foot wide.
Yeah. Okay.
And we've actually got an extra meter off to the right, but we've got the rotary axis on the right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there's an extra 4 foot to the right.
This is pretty cool. I would like to try this on a smaller piece because I don't have a full vacuum table, but I have a vacuum uh, pump, and part of part of the project that I'm planning to do when I get the shop in better condition, like I started earlier today, is to put in a little vacuum table that is just one section of the table because I don't
Yeah.
need I don't I don't have the equipment to do the entire table, but what I do have is plenty for the size projects that I usually cut.
Yeah.
So, that's so I have
Well,
T-tracks and clamps for everything else, but for this, one section, if I want to do something, I'll do it with the vacuum.
well, here's the other benefit to it. We normally to hold something like this down, the table is split in two.
Yeah.
So you've got 6 foot. That does sound 3 foot. So you got like six
Different
odd.
zones. Yeah.
But you've only got two zones on this. There are other valves that you can sort of like break it
Sure.
down. But there's the vacuum pumps either power the front or the rear zone in half.
Hmm.
And I would normally run two. I would run two vacuum pumps for each, so four vacuum pumps in total to hold that down, and it wouldn't hold it down properly.
Hmm.
I fired it up. I fired it up on the four vacuum pumps to start with, but I then turned it off, and it was only running on one vacuum pump on each side. And what a lot of people don't understand is the amount of power these vacuum pumps chew,
Yeah,
particularly
they
to
do.
hold something like that down. So being able to, I found that I've got extremely good hold down with just running two vacuum pumps, one on front, one on back. I didn't need to run four vacuum pumps. That
Hmm.
was the other benefit of doing the job. So that reduces the cost of doing the job as well.
Oh, fantastic. Um,
But the more important thing was the because it pulled it down so well, even with one vacuum pump on each side, the flatness was better than zero point 0.2 of a millimeter.
yeah, and that matters. When you're charging a premium price for a premium piece, it has to be perfect.
It
And
does.
you know,
It's
whew,
um, yeah. There's no rush on these jobs. It's all about getting them right and doing them perfectly because it's not just the cost of materials. The guys that are doing these doors or these
mhm.
panels, like when they're constructing them,
Yep,
um, it could take 2 to 3 days to get this door to just for that one panel, two to
sure.
3 days of labor. So the labor, and that's two
Oh,
guys.
excuse me.
Um,
Yep.
and sorry, and then there's, and I'm only looking at the assembly of it because there's a frame and the internal section, etc. But they've still got to cut the veneers and that. And it's not like you have an endless supply of these veneers, and they're expensive. Those
Yeah.
veneers are very expensive.
Yep. And it doesn't look like a thin veneer either.
No, it's that's a
It's like a
quarter-inch
quarter
veneer.
inch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This there's some money sitting there on that lumber, let me tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the grain is beautiful. So
Yeah.
not, there's not knots basically. It's all straight,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
clear
the
grain.
thing that a lot of people don't realize in order to make something like that, the amount of timber that is unusable from a pack of timber,
Yeah.
because it has things like some imperfections are welcomed, but a lot of things like knots or like you can see a little bit on the left there, some
Yeah.
of those black, it's sort of like they're like little sap holes or
Yeah.
something like that.
Hmm.
Some imperfections add to the finish, but some finishes destroy it. But then you've also got to match the veneers. Like people think that once you get a piece of timber, it's all the same color and that
No.
it just matches. But from one tree, there's like a rainbow
Yeah.
there's a rainbow of the same color,
Yep.
and it's not just open up a pack of veneer. He actually slices the veneer from thicker slabs of timber himself,
Yeah.
and he can lose over 20% of the material easily, if not more, in doing one of these panels. So
Hmm.
it's yeah, there's a lot more to it, and
Yeah. And
all
then
of these panels are properly seasoned, something
yeah.
that's very hard to get these days.
Yeah. Um, I imagine it would go up even more if people are requesting like book matching and things like that.
Oh yeah,
Too.
there.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were so many different ways of matching the veneers, etc. When you do stuff. Yeah, that's another
Hmm.
one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just amazing. It's pretty cool work. I would love to hang out in that shop for a day or two and just,
Oh,
yeah.
look, we have a lot of fun. The people that I work with there are very good.
Yep.
It's only a very small shop. It's a big workshop, but there's only three or four people there. He
Hmm.
doesn't want he's over egotistical woodworkers that have no idea sort of thing,
Hmm.
and the level of work they produce there is very unique and very good, and it's sought after by a lot of high-end architects. But yeah, I see. Until I started working with wood, metal is just so much easier.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It doesn't change size on you very often. Uh, you know.
And if you actually gouge in or plow into a metal surface with an end mill or something, you just get the welder out and fill it and put it back on and clean it up, sort of thing. But you can't do that with this stuff. Like, oh yeah.
Yeah, nobody's found a way to put the wood back.
Well, actually, one of the interesting things is we have done it, and like where I've had on some of these panels where you make a whoopsie.
Hmm.
And the problem is that you can't just press one side. You have to press, like, it warps when you press both of the sides. But if, like, because I've actually cut out one leaf
Hmm.
and then replaced it because of damage or something like that. And he's found that he has to literally surface the entire side and sometimes even remake the panel depending upon what the construction is. Otherwise, it'll cup and bow big time.
Hmm.
And the thing is that when they when they do some of these rooms, there could be a half a dozen of these panels inside the room, and the damage may not occur for many weeks after it's actually installed. Yeah,
Yeah.
so they just creep and move timber is terrible. It's a
Yeah.
nasty thing to work with.
Yep.
Uh, but it is
Well,
challenging and a lot of fun.
yeah. Well, thanks again, Ned, for showing up for these things. I do appreciate it. I learned so much from you. Uh, what we're doing this.
I'll
Uh,
take that as a compliment because I
it is
come
a
here to learn
compliment.
more from you.
Well, then I take that as a compliment. Yeah.
Uh,
Today we talked rockets, but you know,
yeah,
eh,
it was
you
still a
know,
good fun day.
I enjoyed it. I don't care what anybody else does. That's the thing. If we had fun, then it was worth it. And you gotta admit, watching somebody try and do all these things with a rocket, at any point they can fail. I mean, it's going to be exciting, even if it's just a perfect launch and landing. It's more exciting than a lot of stuff
Well,
that's going on.
yeah. Well, that extends to a lot of things. Like I've gone fishing and camping on the beach and other play. I've been to so many spots camping and fishing. But you know
Hmm.
what the funny thing is? I only remember the miserable days.
Yeah, yeah.
where where you get caught out in the rain and cold and your tent blows over and oh God knows what.
Mm,
Like, yeah, they were the fun days as well. They were
yeah,
miserable, but they were fun.
yep. Well,
Yeah.
I I had a wonderful weekend in Lake Placid. Celebrating
Yep.
my wedding anniversary, and
I saw
I
the
gotta say,
photos.
yeah, I gotta say, it's all just one big happy memory. But you know, when it rained on the way home, you think about that, and you had a wonderful time for the rest of the time. You're like, ah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, most of our adventure happened within 2 miles of the house. Actually, on the way back, I had we heard a big bang as we were driving down the road, and then we noticed that the tire pressure gauge started descending. When we pulled into the driveway, we were down at 10 psi.
Oh,
Yeah, from 35, I think. Anyway, where did I put it? It should be right here, but it's not. I had a big. Somebody had dropped a tool in the road, and it was a Torx T 45 or 40. I think it was a T 45 Torx driver with a
I'm
socket.
sorry, mine don't go much beyond 10.
Yeah, it was big. It
That
was
was big.
big. Yeah, and it punctured a hole right in the tire. And
Oh,
yeah, so that was it. So now we're dealing with a flat tire when we got back. But I'll tell you, it didn't matter. I'm still feeling good from that vacation. It was
yeah, no,
amazing, amazing.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I wonder what. Oh, here it is. So it's a rather large. I'll
You
stop
might, oh,
sharing.
yeah, there you are. Yep,
Yeah, I
yep.
might want to stop sharing. But this is the size of the.
Actually, I do have one of those.
Yeah, yeah,
I use it to pull the back seats out of the van.
yeah. It's probably sized for something like that. Um,
Yeah.
there's a farm supply store right up the road where they fix big tractors and stuff, and I wonder if this, you know, came out of one of the tractors that or whatever it was, had just been repaired or whatever, dropped out of
Yeah.
the mechanic's toolbox or whatever. Anyway, I now have a big Torx driver, and if I ever need it, now I got
You
one. It's a
will,
T 45.
yeah, there's a good chance that it's exactly the same thing. I had to purchase one. And I bought a Hyundai iMax. I was looking at buying a van, and the
Mm-hmm.
iLoad is the cargo van, like we were saying with the
Yep.
747s, and the iMax is the people mover.
Yep.
And I thought this will make a great camping van and at the same time a great work van. So I wanted to pull all the seats out, but they had a huge Torx wrench like that. So it's sitting in
Hmm.
my van. I've only used it once to pull the seats out.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's what that was. And I think you'll find it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah,
Just
yeah,
add it
that
to
was
my
it.
tool, add it to my
Add it to the
toolbox,
tools.
and
Yep.
I haven't looked up to see what one of these costs, but um, I took the tire to our regular tire guy. We've been
Yeah.
we're buying from them for years, and it was only $20 to get the tire fixed. 20
Yeah.
bucks. So, not a
I'm
big deal.
I'm used to fixing the tires. I drive through a lot of industrial complexes, and the
Hmm.
car tires seem to be like magnets for little tech screws and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's just become a part of driving for me. I pull out, push one of those worms in. I've got the compressor in the car, pump it up, and off I go.
Hmm. Yeah. So they did it with the plate, not plate, the patch inside, and they plugged the hole. They did from both sides, so
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. Um, I'm not a mechanic, but I'll tell you, having a good mechanic is worth its weight.
No, you're
One that,
right there.
you know,
I've changed a few mechanics, and when you pay maybe not the highest price, but a premium price. I could have gone to a lot of other cheaper mechanics,
hmm
and you go to what you think is a good mechanic and you say, fix this and that. And while you're at it, check all this other stuff. And look, I don't know if I'll fix it up now, but give me a list of stuff that you can see that I'll need to keep an eye on, etc.
Yep.
And there was this one time, and I went to a really, really good mechanic, and he worked on the transmission or something like that. And this is with my work
hmm
van
hmm
or work vehicle, and I've picked the van up from him, and it's only about 3 or 4 kilometers, maybe 5 kilometers to get home, and I didn't even make it home, and one of the belts snap off the
mm,
alternator, whatever, and you look at the belt and you turn it inside out, and he would have had it off, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And you turn it inside out, and it's dried and split, you know what I mean? And
hmm
there was no this needs replacing sort of thing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's only a little thing, but my vehicles, I drive many, like I can go for jobs that are 3 or 4 hours away,
hmm
and they're in the middle of nowhere, and the last thing you want is to get stuck somewhere over something stupid, particularly a $15 or $20 part.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm uh I'm glad these guys check things, and my wife wanted, when this went, she says, "Well, why don't you just get 4 new tires?" And and I said, "Well, there's nothing wrong with these tires. They're you know they're practically brand new." She says, "Really? I don't remember that." And I says, "Yeah." And I said, "Let me check with the guy." And, she knows the guy. So we call and says, "When did we get those tires?" He says, "May 9th." So so they're only a couple of months old, you know. So she's like, "Oh, okay, I guess we don't need a whole new set." But she is very, very she wants to be secure and safe, and the whole 9 yards. So a lot of times she'll say, "Hey, let's just do it," you know, and we know everything's good. In this case, it didn't need it, but
Yeah.
yeah, but it, you know,
There's a lot of people that prey on people with stuff like that.
yeah. But this mechanic says, "No, you guys, we just bought those. You don't
Yeah.
need that." Yeah, no. Uh, but yeah, uh, brakes are a different thing. You replace the brakes when they need it.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, it was just one of those things. So I consider us very fortunate. Uh, Especially, imagine what this would have been like up in the Adirondack Mountains. having it blow up there in the middle of nowhere. And
Well, I don't think you would have found a 45T rocket up there
yeah,
either.
yeah, that's true. Maybe a railroad spike or something, but yeah, uh, just amazing. I got to see if this fits anything around the shop. Uh,
Yeah. You'll find it'll be. I'd be looking. I'd probably go and look at the seat belts in your car, but it might be a Korean thing or something like that because that was
yeah.
out of the Hyundai. I don't know what vehicle you have. Most of you guys drive the American-made vehicles,
Hmm.
but yeah, that's what I felt like. I've never seen the need for one, and as I said, it was only for undoing the seats, so I
Hmm.
can take them out and turn it into a van.
Well, the other thing I've seen these torque drivers used for is the gas springs that hold up the lift gates. You know,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know what size that one used. I remember I replaced some of those 2 years ago, and I don't remember, but I had to go out and buy the the driver to do it.
Talking about gas struts, although it's not nothing to do with cars, I picked up a used computer just
Hmm.
the other day. I paid $150 for it. It was an i3 with 24 gig of RAM.
Hmm.
It was a all-in-one desktop HP Z1 workstation.
Hmm.
And I thought, that looks like a nice workstation. And I drove out and I paid the guy for it because I find the all-in-ones are really good for the CNC machines.
Hmm.
And I've got some lower end ones, but what I found with all the shelving and that I said that I was putting up, and I thought on one of the shelving levels I'll put the smaller CNC, the 3D printer, and the SLA, FDA, and FDM and
Sure.
SLA printer. And generally I'd have this out and I'd have these out in the garage and I'd have to come inside to my main computer to modify a
Yeah.
design, then go out there and open it on that computer and run the job.
Yep.
And I thought, this should be okay for that. And I went and picked it up, and this thing weighed a ton. This thing, if you do a
Hmm.
Google for HBZ1 all-in-one workstation,
Yep.
and I went to pick it up, and it was absolutely heavy. And when I brought it back, the front was fully die cast. So we're talking 27-inch monitor.
Yeah.
It was fully die cast. The whole frame was fully die cast, and the bottom half was all pressed 1.62 mil
Hmm.
aluminium and steel, and really well made. And it had the gas strut in there, and I did okay. So the only thing I didn't like about it had a 1 terabyte normal drive. So I went,
Mm.
I'll do a quick YouTube on how to pull this thing apart. That was generally all the all-in-ones you got to pull out.
Hmm.
Like somehow they get like 1 million screws into a PC
Yeah.
with those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
and and
And there's always one that's not the same size as all the others. Yeah.
yeah, well, there'll be the shorter, longer ones,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Anyway, I watched the YouTube, and you sort of push a button on the stand and the thing sort of folds down flat, horizontal.
Hmm.
And then there's just two little clips like a suitcase, and it just pops open and lifts up, and it's got the gas struts in there, and you can just work on it perfectly like a workstation sort of thing. It was a brilliant little
Hmm.
computer.
Hmm.
Yeah, so if you come across any of those, and it is about a 6-year-old machine.
It's the HP
Um,
what?
HP Z1
Uh-huh.
all-in-one workstation, or workstation
Yeah.
all-in-one.
Yeah. You never know.
27-inch screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a brilliant thing to work. I've been, and I think I have recommended this before. Is if you keep an eye on Craigslist or Marketplace,
Hmm.
you should be able to pick up nice all-in-one. This one didn't have a touch screen, but all-in-one touchscreen workstations, you should be able to pick them up really nice and cheap.
Hmm.
Particularly for the CNCs, they're brilliant.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I've seen these before. Uh, the Castra, huh? Hmm. Um,
Oh, there's all different types. I've got about 3 of them out there now.
yeah,
But yeah, no, it was a good machine.
yeah, it can get one here for $199 used on eBay right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very do a search for open or do hard drive upgrade. Add the word upgrade hard HDD to it. See if it's got any pictures.
Removing and replacing parts for the HP Z1 G2 workstation. Yeah. Yeah. How to upgrade? Let's see. Trying to see if it has the gas struts on this.
Yeah, it's got a gas strut inside it. It's very heavy.
Let's see. I don't know if this is the right one. Hmm. Um. Yeah, I'm not seeing a gas strut on this. Oh, this is the all-in-one. I'm sorry. This is showing me something else. So
Desktop.
that's not. Yeah.
Now
Desktop.
there's a desktop case workstation, and
Mm-hmm.
they've got the exact same machine as an all-in-one as well.
Yeah. Um. Oh well. Anyway, I'm not seeing it right away, but it's yeah, I'll
Let me
probably
take a
do a
quick
little more searching later.
look. 1 second.
HPC, tear down and fix it. This has got to be it. Let's see. Is it? I'm not sharing until I find until I find the right version. This is yeah. I guess I'll let you find it there, Ned.
Give
Because
me 2 seconds.
yeah,
That looks
this is
like
it. It's got a gas strut. I can see, but doesn't show it opening up. Step 4.
here we go. Let me just hit the share button.
Mm-hmm. I can't believe I didn't turn on one of the feeds from YouTube while we were doing it. Just yeah. Anyway,
Can you see that?
yes.
So he's got it laying down flat at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Great speakers in it as well. Now watch how he opens it. Because normally you got to pull out 1 million screws and undo like
Mm-hmm.
use like the little lever, etc.
Just slide those two tabs over. Yeah, it's no wonder that it is heavy. Look at those components. But it looks
Like
like
that
it's
is
built.
all that what you're looking now is all die cast. You can see it there. It's all die cast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bet that would be nice for Fusion or
It
Aspire.
it was a beautiful. It was a i3 3.4 gigahertz with 24 gig of RAM.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's got the NVIDIA Quadro card in there, so it's got a workstation graphics card in it already.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Wow. That sound is my
And it takes 2 hard drives. He's doing the full refurb on it now, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway, yeah, so that was the machine there. I'll just any more? No. No, that was it. Yeah. So
sorry, Nick. Yeah, just saying my wife's let me know she's on her way.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah,
should be about that time of the day.
yeah, we're past time. But
Yep.
I was enjoying the conversation. Um,
Yeah, no, it was a good conversation. I enjoyed it myself.
I might actually look at this HPZ one because it sounds like it's big and tough enough that I could keep it out in the shop. I'm not sure how it would do through the winter, but
Look, I've got a few, not that specific one. I've gotten a few of them. The Dell, the some of the Dell one.
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these old machines, even from a Core 2 Duo. Hang on a second, I've still got something playing here. A lot of these machines, there's nothing wrong with them.
Hmm.
The biggest problem with them is that they've got is the hard drives. They've got the old
Yeah.
mechanical hard drives in them, and that
Hmm.
slows them right down. You put an SSD in it, even from an old Core 2 Duo.
Yeah.
You put an SSD drive in it, and they're a brilliant machine. The biggest thing why I was getting some of the older machines, like you got some of the cash registers are pretty good
Hmm.
because they've got the Atom processors in them,
Yep.
and this is just for using it as a controller sort of thing.
Sure.
You get a touch screen. They're compact, they're sealed, they generally work off passive cooling.
Hmm.
And so you can leave them out in the shop and you don't have to worry about dust or anything like that. And they've got more than enough power to control a CNC. And
Yeah.
I run Mark III with all of my stuff.
My
Um,
my last workstation computer was a Dell Precision, uh,
mhm.
and that sucker lasted 10 years of not
Mm.
really being slowed down or any, it it just did it could handle any of the fusion stuff, AutoCAD, the Aspire, just because that's what they were designed for,
Yeah.
um but I shudder to think what it would cost to replace it with the newer version of what a workstation is like. Whew,
Look,
brand new.
one of the biggest problems with the newer processors, probably starting from around about the Gen 10 Intel CPUs,
Hmm.
the power consumption is huge.
Yeah.
Uh, we're talking about 250 plus watts just for the motherboard or just for the CPU before you
Hmm.
look at the hard drive and the graphics card.
Yeah.
Um, and I've been like I've got one machine that's my main design PC. That thing's up at 600 watts when it's running.
Hmm.
So that's a big power bill to leave running all day and night, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Uh, and particularly when you can buy a lot of these HP mini PCs and so on, they
Hmm.
they run they'll generally have a Gen 7 to Gen 9 processor in them, but they're down to 60 to 90 watts of power
Yeah.
consumption, like for the entire PC, CPU and video card. And the way that they're designed is, although they don't have a workstation graphics card in them, they do have some sort of hybrid Intel chip in there,
Hmm.
which is sort of like in between, like a workstation and gaming card. They work really well, low power consumption, and I found that a lot of those little mini PCs work really well. And generally you look for the power supply. They have an external power supply, and the power supplies are only 60 watts, so
Hmm.
60, 65 watts. So that's a lot more comfortable to leave running all night and stuff like that. Because I generally don't turn my computers off. I just walk away from them and that's
Hmm.
it. Um, but then there's I've started using the all-in-one workstations.
Yeah.
Because they're compact, you've got no wires. They have Bluetooth on them, so you just get a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and pair them to them. So you got no wires. They're very portable, etc. Sorry, not portable, but like it's very compact.
Sure.
And you've got the touch screen on them, so when you're running Mark III, you can hit start stop. Most of the stuff I still do with a keyboard, but you can do start stop, increase the feed speeds or the motor speed just by touching the screen.
Hmm.
It's very handy, and I found the Dell ones to be very nice. They're just a
Yeah.
black, and they're a fairly sealed
Yeah.
machine. So, and you can pick them up for as long as 50 to 70, 50 to 70, average under $100 Australian. I can pick them up. One comes up quite frequently, sort of
Yeah.
thing. So, yeah. But I
Yeah,
saw this said one, and I went, I'll give that a try.
yeah. It's just nice. It looks nice. Anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
All
I'm not going to
right.
use that one for the CNC, but anyway, yeah. So that was another little tip for PCs from me. Anyway, yeah.
All right, fantastic. I think we're gonna call it a night now.
We'll call it at that.
I appreciate you, Ned. Thanks for coming and watching the launch with ahead of me. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah,
So,
that was
all
good.
right.
It's better than watching it on your own, anyway.
Yeah. If anybody would like to join us some other time and not talk about rockets and talk about CNC, we do it on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night, Ned.
See you later. Have a
Or
good one.
good day, actually, for you.
Good day. Yeah, my
Yeah.
day's just starting.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.